Hello, my name is Antonio Martinez and I belong to the Camille Research Group from the Department of Applied Linguistics at the Universitat Politècnica de València. Through this presentation, we are going to tell you about the Europass language passport and the Europass mobility document. Both documents are part of the European language portfolio that we are going to explain later on. In order to better understand what the Europass is, we have here the 5 documents that make up it. We are going to focus just on 2 of them. On the first hand, we are going to pay attention to the Europass language passport. This document can be filled in by yourself, and on the other hand, we are going to pay attention to the Europass mobility, which is filled in and issued by a competent organization. If we want to know what the Europass language passport is, we can tell you that it allows you or any person who wants to spend a time abroad to work or study in Europe to describe their linguistic skills. This document has been developed by the Council of Europe, and as I told you about before, it is part of the European language portfolio. These are the documents that the European language portfolio comprise. They are the language passport, the language biography, and the dossier. How to use it? We have 3 options. You can create your Europass language passport by using online instructions and examples. In that way, you can fill in your passport online by accessing the web page for this purpose. And then, once you have created it, you can either download it or get it via email. The other possibility is to download the Europass language passport documents. These documents include a blank template, the instructions that you have to follow, and you have to fulfill the examples that could guide you while creating it, and also the Europass cover page. Once you have them, you can use them on your own computer. Once you have created your passport, you have always the possibility and the option to update that information that you have included by using the formats that we present to you. This is the web link that can lead you to the web page on which you can find all the information you need about the Europass document. And you also get a presentation with the principles that you should follow and some pieces of advice. We are going to explain those principles in the following slides, but first we are going to focus on personal information, which is the first page that you have to fill in. In this case, you have to write your surname, your first name, your date of birth, and introduce your mother tongue. Once you have done it, you go to the second page in which you have to add the languages you speak or the languages you have learned. In that way, you create a list with your languages, and you will always be able to edit that list and to add information about self-assessment, about diplomas, certificates, linguistic experiences, and you can edit contents on that language, on those languages that you have included previously. Once you have finished, you just have to save the Europass document, and these are the formats that you can use to save them. Once you have saved them, you can preview what you have done, and you can either download your document or receive it via email. And that's all. If you want to get some extra information, you can always check the examples that are provided by the web page by the Council of Europe. In this case, we have several examples in many European languages, including Spanish. So that can be a guide for you when creating it. The important principles that you have to follow when writing your passport is to keep to the structure of the template. You are recommended to print your Europass language passport on white paper and always retain the suggested font and layout. avoiding underlining, capital letters and bold, as all these aspects could make your document hard to read or to understand. You should always be clear and as brief as possible, and include just relevant information concerning your education, training and other experiences that you think are important. Another piece of advice is that you have to be realistic, as much realistic as possible when writing your self-assessment, and you have to avoid overestimation of your skills, because that could be a problem for you when having to demonstrate them during an interview or during the trial period, for example in a company. You are also recommended to check what you have written, what you have produced, and remove any spelling or punctuation mistake that you find, and make sure that what you have formulated is clearly and logically organized. You should also try to ask for a person to give you a second opinion, a second point of view, as this could be very useful in order to know if what you have written is clear and easy to understand. Now we focus on the Europass mobility document. This is another document. In this case, it is a record of any organized period of time. It is called Europass mobility experience. It can be done by any person who spends a period of time in any European country for the purpose of learning or writing. And this Europass mobility document includes, for example, we have a work placement in a company or an academic term when studying abroad, and also, for example, a voluntary placement in an NGO. This mobility experience is always monitored by two partner organizations, which are the country of origin and the host country. Both partners have to agree on the purpose, on the content, and on the duration of the experience that you are going to have. You have also a mentor, which is identified in the host country. And the partners may be, as we show you, universities, schools, training centers, companies, NGOs, etc. Who is this mobility program for? It is for any person who undergoes a mobility experience in any European country, regardless of their age as well as of the level of education or of culture. The responsible in this case for completing it is the home and host organizations, which are involved in the mobility project. You have also to agree on the language, and also you have to validate what they are doing. Where can you obtain it? If you want to obtain it, you have to contact the organization which sends you abroad, and they are the responsible for contacting their national Europass centers, as all these centers are across the whole European Union territory. If you want to get inspired, you can always check the examples of already created Europass mobility documents. They are available in all these languages. In this case, we don't have Spanish, but you can always check it in English, for example. And that's all. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope you get encouraged by this presentation and experience any of these options and write any of these documents. Thank you very much.